The Indian community in Australia has made grand arrangements for Prime Minister Modi, where he will be interacting with the NRI community. Modi will be leaving for Australia tonight to attend the G20 summit. Let's go across to TV Today's managing editor Rahul Kamal for more.
Hello and a warm welcome. We are broadcasting today from the Alphonse Arena at the Sydney Olympic Park. This is where the Sydney Olympic Games inauguration took place. Right behind me is where netball was played last night. Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones were performing here, and only about 10,000 people were in attendance. But come the 17th of November, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes for what is being called Madison Square Garden Part 2, an indoor arena. It's called the biggest indoor arena in the Southern Hemisphere. 17,000 people will be chanting Modi, Modi once more. I'm joined here today by a whole bunch of people who are busy organizing this event. Youngsters, those who've been in Australia for a very long while, academicians, intellectuals, students, all of them working, and their primary focus at this time is to make the Sydney event bigger than New York, bigger than Madison Square Garden. Come, let's speak to some of the key organizers and find out what the preparations at the Sydney Olympic Park are like. Let's start with Balesh Dhankar. Now tell us, you've got tough competition in New York. That was a grand spectacle, and I hear everyone, while we were building up for this show, say you're going to beat New York. What's your plan? How do you intend to do it?
See, the thing is, we're not competing with New York, but the enthusiasm of everyone in Australia is such that that competition is very natural. And in just 3 days, we got 21,000 registrations, given the fact that we have only 1/10 of Indian diaspora in Australia. That itself says how much Indian diaspora loves Modi ji. That itself says people want to see him, connect with him. So this is going to be really spectacular show on 17th, and we will rock the whole floor, outside and inside. It's not only inside. We are having number of cultural activities outside as well, so that people can be entertained and they can enjoy the festive mood. Inside we'll be having a whole 1 hour cultural show, which would be having a very unique and very special component that showcase the connection, historical connection with India and Australia. It would be showing how Australian Aboriginal people migrated from India 5,300 years back. So to show that bonding, to create the better relationship between India and Australia, we are also including that component. So it would be fantastic.
One of the big differences between the United States and Australia is that there are a whole more Indians in the United States than there are in Australia. So your challenge of trying to beat and outcompete New York is that much tougher because there are far fewer of you here.
Absolutely, but given the fact that there are more in numbers, but definitely in terms of the spirit, we are much higher than. Of course, I do admit the fact that the Alphonse Arena is going to definitely beat the Madison Square in numbers. But whatever they did, it added as a wind in the sail for us, because the euphoria that was created by the Madison Square, it helped us a lot, and that's what Balesh was telling. Within a span of 3 days, 201 community organizations, 21,700 registrations coming up. It's phenomenal. Even by the Australian standards, people were just surprised, saying, how can this happen? And over and above that is the individual registrations, which has come to about near another 4,000. So in total, they can see the capacity is about 16,000, but we have another 7,000 to 8,000 people waiting outside just to get the tickets. That is the sort of wave that Modi ji is creating.
This is an arena where A.R. Rahman has performed in the past. Shah Rukh Khan's been here. There's a board out for a Ricky Martin concert. Justin Timberlake's been here. All the biggest rock stars of the world come and perform. And to that list is being added the name of the political rock star from India. His name, Narendra Modi. Now, so you've been here, you said, for 40 years. Tell us, what does this event mean for the Indian community here in Australia?
It has 2-3 unique characteristics. Number one, that it is for the first time that more than 200 Indian organizations have come under one platform. Indian Australian Community Foundation represent more than 200 Indian communities which represent different regions of India, culture, languages and religions, number one. Number two, this is the first time that such a big reception is being given to Indian Prime Minister. I was fortunate to receive Indira Gandhi in 1968. After that, Morarji Desai came, Rajiv Gandhi came, but there was no such enthusiasm in the public.
Why not?
It is the Modi personality. his...
Times have changed. This is the time of live television. That time you didn't have journalists flying down. You didn't have these live uplinking kits which allow you to go back. So times have changed. Is it just about Modi?
No.
Or is it also about the way life is becoming more of a 24/7 made-for-TV spectacle?
I think that time has changed, you are right, but I shouldn't say, but if any other Prime Minister would have come, there would not have been that much enthusiasm.
Has there been any other world leader who's been at the Alphonse Arena? Because when we were in New York, we found that no other world leader had ever done an event at the Madison Square Garden. Have other leaders been here, sir?
No leader-centric program has taken place. For some events organized by some other organizations, the Prime Minister has been invited for some award ceremonies. So they have come here. But this event is mainly centric with Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister. So in that say, these organizers, the Alphonse, they also believe that the rating will go high up because the first time a Prime Minister-centric program is going on.
Okay, I'm interested. It's interesting to see how the organizers also worried about ratings. I thought it was mostly TV channel producers who are obsessing with ratings. Okay, let's speak to all of you. Tell me, what is it that you do? Do you actually follow Modi or you're too far out of India to really care about Indian politics?
Well, I was too far out of India before Modi came. Because of, he's aiming at Twitter, he's aiming like social networking sites, he's doing Swachh Bharat with celebrities as well. That's something, I obviously do follow celebrities, so, you get to know much more. Yeah, so he's aiming at the younger generations much more.
Do you connect with Modi at all? In what way do you connect with Modi?
He is a role model for us now. Like, being out of India, we don't really connect ourselves back to India, but now he uses social media. That's the biggest, giveaway.
You follow him on Twitter and Facebook?
Yeah, follow him on Twitter and Facebook, and it's good to see how he's using the technology he has available to connect with not only the older generation but the younger generation, because we are the future. And he has been able to reach out to us, and now I'm politically interested in something that I'm not even affiliated with, and it's good because it's stirring up this interest where kids are like, what, I want to make a difference, I want to be part of something big. And we're getting so many youths, like as we see here, like youths didn't know about this, but now he's becoming such a big celebrity amongst us as well. We're just like, oh wow, Modi ji, wow. So it's good.
So what is it about Modi that appeals to you? Why is it that Modi is a youth icon amongst, say, young people here in Australia from the Indian community?
I guess what Modi's done really well is that he has he's realized that India's young demographic dividend is going to be its source of competitive advantage in the future. So, as she said, by using social media, Facebook, all these other avenues that are available, 3D technology as well during his election campaign, he has tapped onto this huge potential. And I guess by doing that, he's not only included us in this whole process, but essentially made us have vested interest in India's development.
Were all of you born here in Australia, or you came after your birth? You were all born here?
Yeah, well,
Came here
very young, but basically born and brought up in Australia. I came here when I was 6 months, so I wouldn't really know much about...
So do you ever see yourself going back to India, or would you always rather stay in Australia?
Actually, I've considered going back, definitely, because though I've been here most of my life, we do visit frequently, and I'm like, yes, okay, this is great, but now there's such a big vibe where everyone's like, oh, India's going to become the next big economical power, yeah. And so now you're just like, what, I want to be part of this, and I want to represent my country, which I haven't been brought up in. But you know what, you want to be part of it now, and I'm guessing everyone else wants to be part of it.
You're in school, right?
Yeah, high school.
When I was in school, I didn't care about politics or politicians. Why are you here?
Well, first you say that's the one thing about Modi that makes him really powerful. He does not only go for the older kids or for the elderly people, but he attracts the youth and the people of younger age too, as he is very socially adaptable. So you could say the politics that he inculcates and the way he projects himself makes him look like a great idol or a great role model to follow for younger generations.
Why do you think he's a role model for you?
Well, first of all, as a student, he is very knowledgeable and he is very disciplined. That's something very rare we see in kids these days. Time management, another major thing.
Articulate.
Articulate, definitely. So these things help us as
Do you all even speak Hindi?
No.
How do you know he's articulate?
No, but you know what? Now it's inspired us to actually go there and learn Hindi, because now I'm like, damn, I can't be part of this big, event that's happening because I can't communicate in Hindi. But now I'm like, you know what? I can go learn Hindi. I speak.
Are you actually trying to learn Hindi?
Yes.
Thoda say, yeah.
Bollywood does help.
Yeah?
Bollywood does help. Yeah. Bollywood.
That's completely messed up Hindi, but yeah, that's good for a start for sure. Yeah, so tell me, what is it about Modi that appeals to you?
To me, it's his leadership skills and the way he sort of has a very charismatic personality, that the way he can just turn 1.2 billion people, into his supporters, well, the majority of it, at least. And I've got friends who are non-Indian who are coming to the event on Monday.
Why are they coming?
They're coming because they want to see how such a big leader, such an inspirational and such a charismatic leader can just, have such a personality that he captivates everyone and turns the entire audience into his favor.
We've also got over here Miss India Australia. She's going to be the MC for this event come the 17th. Hi, what's your name? And what preparations have you made? Because we had Miss America, not just Miss India America, Miss America performing the last time. She was the host for the event at the MSG. What are your preparations like?
Hello, preparations are going great and भारत की जो संस्कृति है वो तो सर्वत्र प्रसिद्ध है तो हम north to south, east to west, we're trying to get everything possible. I mean, it's so diverse. We're trying to get everything possible, whether it's dances, music, songs, everything.
So why don't you take our viewers through the event itself and what's going to happen? I'm told there's a very strong cultural component. You, of course, have the inside dope on what's going to happen. So why don't you give our viewers a sense of what your rundown for the 17th is going to look like?
Well, that's a secret.
It is?
Yes, and I can't reveal that to you, but we're trying to strengthen India-Australia ties, and we're going to be sending out the message of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, one world family.
Okay, and are you going to be doing this in Hindi or in English?
Both, because हमारे जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं वो हिंदी में बात करना ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं तो मैं उनके लिए बहुत दिल से हिंदी सीख रही हूँ।
आप सीख रही हैं हिंदी?
नहीं, आती है, थोड़ी मुश्किल वाली भी सीख रही हूँ।
मुश्किल वाली हिंदी सीख रही हैं। अच्छा, ये बताएं कि आपके लिए ये इवेंट कितना महत्वपूर्ण है? How important is it for you and what does Modi mean to you?
It's an honor, किसी के लिए भी होगा, to be the master of ceremony for the Prime Minister of world's largest democracy. And I'm just a drop in the ocean where he's an entire ocean in a drop. But I deeply connect with him because he does yoga, I do yoga, and he wakes up in Brahma Muhurat to do it. And he does meditation, and he recently started a ministry for yoga and Ayurveda. And I think I see him as a yogi, and I can very well connect to him.
Okay, tell us, ma'am. Is this going to be mostly a male-dominated audience come the 17th, or will there be a lot of women cheering for Modi as well?
There will be a lot of, believe me, there will be a lot of women, children, because Modi ji is so approachable and, he has his effect on all the age groups. So it's not just male-dominated audience. You will see a diverse audience, basically. Yeah.
Okay,
from
sitting
and from more different cultures as well.
Sitting here in Sydney, what does Modi mean to you? Do you get to follow the Modi story closely?
Yes, all the time in the YouTube, on the Twitter and all those things. Wherever he goes, whatever he does, directly we can see that and we can connect to that. And what the youth said that I'm very happy is this because of him who came to here, who don't want to go, the kids who don't want to connect it, no, they want to connect to India and they want to go do better, and that I'm very happy for that, and really I can see that.
Ma'am, did you get to see what happened at Madison Square Garden? Did you get to see the event there?
No, I've heard about it, but I was not able to see what happened there, but I know the people who organize it, so I've heard a lot about it. But I hope that we can do better. No? We can do as good as they have done.
Australians are big at competition, okay? And I see the one sense that I get is the constant attempt is to try and outdo Madison Square Garden. That's a tough ask, really.
Well, once again, as what Baleshji told, we are not competing with anyone. But having said that, definitely we would want this event to be as successful as possible.
Okay, so you work with a whole bunch of intelligence here, right? Academics who are working here in Australia. Take us through the mood amongst the non-Indians. Okay, so we've seen that the Indian community is quite charged up. But what about just Australians. Are they at all plugged into the Modi story? What are they making of it?
Yeah, so starting, I would like to start with Hugh Evans, who is the CEO of Global Citizens Project, which is closely working with all the humanitarian projects across the globe. So he is based in New York. So when I sent him an email, I got a response within 2 minutes saying that he would be here. So that's the fame Modi has created, globally. And he has had a personal rapport with Modi ji as well.
Okay, it's a working day. Do you think a lot of working people will be able to get away and come and watch Modi? Because in New York I saw people had come from Maryland, they'd come from Washington, they'd bunked their office and they'd taken time out to come and listen to Modi.
Yes, as you know, there are a number of people coming from Melbourne and there is a special train booked for this. It's called a Modi Express.
Who came up with the idea of the Modi Express? I must know this.
All of
yeah? No. An idea has to come to one person. Everybody can't say that I came. Balesh came up with the idea. This Modi Express, it's great publicity, of course it is, right? But that just sounds like a made-for-TV spectacle. What made you come up with the idea of a Modi Express?
I understand it is packaged like a TV spectacle and that sort of thing, but nobody came up with Modi Express idea apart from Modi ji himself.
So Modi ji suggested to you that train chalni chahiye Melbourne se?
I'm telling you, Modi ji spent so many years traveling in train as a grassroots worker. Now, when we came to know that, okay, Modi ji is going to do this event in Sydney, then thousands of people wanted to travel from Melbourne to Sydney. The best way was train. They want to.
So you booked a full train?
Full train, yeah. And they want.
So what happens to all the Aussies? Do they get a ticket on the Modi Express?
No, not. Yeah, they can if they are coming here. Of course they can, but not general public. So that's why the charge of environment from Melbourne to Sydney, that itself came about and created Modi Express thing. And it is, you're right that it is very decorative and very media friendly sort of exercise. You'll see lots of colors inside, cultural activities inside, singing, dancing, food.
Yeah, the Miss Australia didn't tell us much about what's happening. Why don't you tell us about what this cultural program is going to be? See, he's a much better source. If I were looking for a source, he's much better. You're trying to be all secretive.
No, she's more of event side. I'm more of media side. So I'm loving media. Yeah. So the thing is, we would be doing a lot of cultural activities, a lot of colorful activities. We'll have tricolor balloons and posters and Modi ji's posters everywhere. Gujarati food and other cuisines would be served on train. And yeah, you're right. And there are people who are non-Indians. They're also coming just to join Modi ji's whole extravaganza event. There are people who are coming from Adelaide to Melbourne or Brisbane to Melbourne just to join the train. So that's how this.
Are you giving us a ticket and a ride on the Modi Express?
It's
about it. Okay. So Sydney was in the news a couple of years ago for all the wrong reasons. There were racist attacks on Indian students, lots of Indian students being beaten up badly. How much of an issue is that still?
I don't think so. It's a major issue anymore. It's not even a minor issue. Things have progressed in positive direction much faster. Yeah, a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, few incidents happened, but it's something which we haven't heard for the last 4 years at all. So I think it's a very positive.
What is it that you'd like to see Modi take up? Because he's going to be having bilaterals with the Australian Prime Minister as well. What would you like to see Modi say when he speaks in the joint session of Parliament, when he meets the Prime Minister in Australia?
As well as part of India is like in India need a lot of energy sector need a coal, uranium as well as the gas is nowadays. And there is one of the concept in India is like a gas grid is the biggest going on over there. So this thing is need over here is in India. So bilateral talks this one is going, as well as there is a very good relation between the India and Australia is going to more healthy, as well as there is on a part of energy sector, sports, as well as cultural activity. So I'm thinking there is the biggest event as in Australia.
Modi is also planning to play a bit of cricket at the MCG. There's going to be a cricket reception. I don't know if he's practicing in his backyard or not. Knowing Modi, he could actually be practicing. I'm not kidding. He could actually possibly be practicing, but there are going to be lots of Australian legends and Indian legends there as well.
You raised the question about Indian student thing. Yes. I've been here since 1967. I never came across the media has publicized, which was very wrong image of Australia. Australians.
But all those events happened. All those incidents.
It was done by the Indians. It was Indians were involved in that, but not the Australians were involved. Very few cases were Indians or Australians were involved. The media has not followed who was involved in the murder. Media didn't follow who was involved in the other incidences. So. I lived in country area. I live in 67. Since 67 in this country, I never come across things like that. This is only one or two events which has been highlighted beyond it should have been imagined, which was totally very wrong image of.
Do you share this? That a wrong image of Australia went out when all those stories about the various racist attacks came across at various campuses here?
No, there was no any kind of I can say the racist attacks or anything over the students or anything like that. Yeah, there are people who take it like that because they don't feel that things are happening and it's getting justified with them. So. Yeah, but there is nothing like that in Australia. These are really very good for and they are always helpful for the things.
In the United States, there are a lot of Gujus because Gujus are one of the dominant communities in the United States. But here in Australia, amongst the Indian community, it's the Sikhs and the Punjabis who form a large percentage. Is the excitement more amongst those who come from Gujarat, or do you think Modi appeals regardless of state?
मोदी जी का अपील गुजरातियों में है, उससे उतना ही पंजाबियों में है। मोदी जी का आने का यहाँ जो आ रहे हैं यहाँ एरेना में इवेंट कर रहे हैं, ये इवेंट बिगर देन मेडिसिन एंड मोदी जी इस एरेना में आके यहाँ सब रॉकस्टार आते हैं और ये मोदी जी हमारे पॉलिटिकल रॉकस्टार आ रहे हैं और ये सारे दुनिया के ग्लोबल लीडर बनेंगे और ये मोदी जी का मैजिक यहाँ चलेगा और खूब जम के चलेगा। नमो नमो होगी जब मोदी 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 होगी।
Modi Modi hogi. Well, a lot of excitement here in Sydney. Thank you all so much for joining us today, sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts. The chants of Modi Modi are already resonating here at the Sydney Olympic Park. This is a coming out party of sorts for the Australian Indian community as well. As much as it was for the Indian American community, they're charged up, they're pumped up, and they're out to try and outdo Madison Square Garden. आपको लगता है आप हरा पाओगे Madison Square Garden? No, because it's a very, very tough competition. They put up the kind of show which takes the bar so high that's really tough to beat.
Young, who will win? We have young rather than USA.
आपके ज़्यादा young लोग हैं.
There was no competition in the first place. Australia already won.
Australians love a challenge and there's no bar too high for us.
Yeah. Agreed. No, that might be true, but it's a very, very difficult competition for you to try and win.
Well, we'll find out on the 17th of November.
Suspense is holding.
The Australians love a challenge. They're hugely competitive and they're confident that they can beat and outdo what happened at Madison Square Garden. Regardless of whether or not that happens, this is indeed a big party, and the party's already started here in Sydney as well. With this, we wrap up our broadcast today and we take you back to our studios. News and updates continue when we return on the other side of a quick break.